Okay, you said you wanted the deep dive tonight, so you're getting the deep dive tonight. And yes, it's 7 o'clock and I'm already in my pajamas because life is wonderful, but it's also exhausting. And this deep dive actually starts with a photo that I took about a month ago. I was walking through Culver City and there was a restaurant on the corner. I guess it was on the corner of Venice and National. Was is the key word here. Anyway, I saw the restaurant and then I looked across and I saw this Love Life place. And then I saw that it said primary care, health coaching, wellness. And in looking at the restaurant, you'd be like, okay, this feels different. I have to admit, I took this picture because I was like, this is a red flag. I know nothing about this, but this is a red flag. So I go home and I look up Love Life or Life Love, whatever the hell it is. And it turns out that the whole thing is the brainchild and business of this guy, John Mackey, who is the former CEO of Whole Foods. And buckle up, y'all. John founded Whole Foods in the 70s. And, oh, by the way, he does this with a very large amount of money that is given to him as an investment by his dad. There's nothing wrong with that, but then he's also one of those people who's like, young people don't want to work these days. And you're like, okay, well, I don't know if that's exactly true. And also, like, generational wealth is declining and you probably wouldn't have been able to do what you were able to do without that money from your dad. But okay, let's keep going. So his whole thing is that he is a conscious capitalist. And I want you to keep that in mind as we continue to learn about some of the things he's been doing recently. Just to give you another taste of how, in my opinion, John is a complete narcissist, he, on his Instagram, I don't know, maybe in Canva, creates infographics of quotes he has said and then puts them up. The only person who's allowed to do that is Deion Sanders. One of his big things is that he's very anti-unions. In fact, he equates unions to herpes. To quote, "The union is like having herpes. It doesn't kill you, but it's unpleasant and inconvenient, and it stops a lot of people from becoming your lover." Well, another thing that John really hates is Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act. I'm not saying that that's perfect, but when you think about what I'm about to tell you, it will make so much more sense to you that this man hates the Affordable Care Act. So he retires from Whole Foods in 2022, and he announces that he's starting these vegan cafes that will also have a wellness component. And that's what this is. Basically, he's like, I'm going to change healthcare. I'm starting these health coaching, health startup, wellness places. So you can kind of explore elements of it now, but it's this health optimization program that go far beyond traditional primary care. By the way, if you read the fine print, it's like, you got to have a PCP. You need to have a PCP. This is just like medical advice. It's not like doctor's orders. But anyway, finally learn what's really going on with your body and get personalized protocols to help you thrive. That's fine. That's good. The healthcare system in this country is not great. But here are some reasons why I don't want you relying on John Mackey for your health care. Oh, and by the way, this is all the fine print about how, like, you really need to have a PCP. A company affiliated health care provider may not have important information that is obtained through hands-on. So it's telehealth, which I think like people understand. But look at this. What they did was they bought this other telehealth service called Plant-Based Telehealth Incorporated. And so basically, Love Life absorbed plant-based telehealth. Now, this happens all the time, but it's only a matter of time before Love Life sells to somebody else. And what are they going to have? Some of the most valuable data that you can imagine. And guess what it says in the fine print of the Love Life Terms and Conditions Privacy Policy? It basically explains that if there's a business transfer, all of your information could go to another entity. And I think like when it comes to places like, oh, that's like, where I bought my shoes, that's fine. But when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to like your personal information, that to me is much more serious. And here's why it's so ironic. So back in May, Love Life, the cafe opens up in Culver City, right? That's May 2023. They haven't opened up the wellness primary care center yet, which, by the way, if it's primary care, why do you still need a different PCP? Anyway, but they haven't opened up this yet. And guess what? This will never open up. At least not here. Because as of 6 days ago, the Culver City restaurant has already closed. They say they're going to open up someplace in El Segundo next summer. Also, like, if you're going to be like, young people don't want to work, well, you literally, John, opened up a restaurant, probably ran it into the ground, and probably a bunch of people lost their jobs. So, do young people not want to work, or are people like you just shady? This place lasted less than 6 months, okay? And now this man wants you to give him your health information. Listen, running any business in this economy is tough, but when you are somebody who comes from this background, I think it's very strange that you would have this restaurant only last for like 6 months. And I guarantee you there was a lot of data collection that happened at that time. And yes, they say like something else is coming to El Segundo. I don't know if I believe that. And if you need proof that this guy is sketchy AF, in the 2000s, he created a fake account and then he would go in the Yahoo Finance forums and criticize Wild Oats Markets, which he was trying to buy and then ended up buying. Oh, by the way, he did this for 7 years, and also in the posts he would talk about how good looking the CEO of Whole Foods was, meaning him. But anyway, he did later admit that it was a mistake to do this, a mistake that you kept doing for 7 years. And I know someone might say like, so what, who cares? But I actually think this is really important. Our health is the most personal thing that we have. And this man is starting a business that's already not going well, that's already had a, in my opinion, huge failure. And he wants to take people's health and then probably, in my opinion, maybe allegedly exploit it for data. And I think that's really scary. And it's like, oh, I wonder why he hates the Affordable Care Act. Because he wants to milk more money out of people. I'll also end with this. Anybody who takes on this whole thing of like, it's young people and they're lazy. Well, every single generation has said that about the next generation, okay? I'm sure, John, when you were running your hippy-dippy grocery store in Austin, Texas, that people were saying that you were lazy. Not saying that you were, but there's this like continuous thing of like, oh, you know, the next generation, I worry about them. They're lazy. They don't care. Okay. Sure. Actually, no, not okay, sure. Anytime that someone says that, it's really you that's the problem, not the next generation.